let's get into some conversation about Mr. Brady Hart here. Also, a 2026 quarterback from Cocoa High School in Florida. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, okay, who has the better talent around him? Well, the answer is Brady Hart. I mean, he's got Javen Boggs. He's got better players around him. But I'm not, people will try to use these things to determine who you like more. I'm like, don't do that, because I'll tell you, yes, Brady Hart has better players around him. There's no doubt. But Brady Hart also, I think, plays against tougher competition. So it kind of balances itself out. They're both really, really good players. You don't need to look for things like that to try to find, answers for who you like better or worse. So let's talk a little bit about Brady Hart. Brady Hart, also from Florida, also has a very strange recruiting ranking. On3 has him ranked number 205. 247 Sports ranks him number 144. ESPN ranks him number 120. Rivals ranks him number 49. Once again, with Brady Hart, I tend to agree more with the Rivals ranking for him. I think that's more in line with what I believe his talent level and potential and production to be. Also has a very impressive offer list. He's got offers from Penn State. He's got offers from Arkansas, Miami, Iowa State, Michigan, Ole Miss, North Carolina, Pitt, Purdue, Texas A&M, and he also has an offer from Virginia Tech. So that's his offer list. Not quite as good as Noah Grubbs, at least from a what's reported standpoint. He also has an offer from Florida, but very, very similar offer list. Talent, again, you want to look at his high school statistics. He is another kid that had excellent high school statistics during his career at Cocoa. Brady, this past year, this is his first year as a starter. So that's the one thing that's different between him and Noah. This was Brady's first year as a starter. You look at his numbers, he completed 65.9% of his passes this year, played in 15 games, threw for 3,759 yards, averaged 250.6 yards per game, averaged 41 or threw for 41 touchdowns, and also had 11 interceptions this past season. Only rushed for 2 yards this past season, according to the statistics, and does not have any listed touchdowns here, but I thought I remembered him running in a touchdown or two in 2023. I'd have to go back and look at that, but I'll have to look at that. But he's a kid that we had him on our show as Ryan Roberts and Sean Davis interviewed him, and they talked about how his head coach would not let him run. He's actually a pretty good athlete, and I think there's some ability for him to become a runner. The guy that I compare him to is Trevor Lawrence. I'm not saying he's as good as Trevor Lawrence. I'm talking about in this one area where, if you remember, Trevor Lawrence as a freshman in college did not run a bunch. Ran a little bit more as a sophomore. It wasn't until his junior year that you really started to see the full potential of what Trevor Lawrence could do as a runner. And I think Brady has a little bit of that. But the reality is neither of these guys are dual threat quarterbacks. Brady has more ability to do damage with his legs. There's no doubt about that. But he's not Riley Leonard. You know what I mean? He's not Tyler Buckner as a runner. He's a drop back quarterback that's athletic enough to hurt you with his legs in ways that I don't know that Noah Grubbs can. So that's a little bit of the profile of Brady Hart. Obviously, one of his teammates you're going to see catching a lot of the balls we're going to watch here in the film room is Javon Boggs, who's a top target for Notre Dame in the 2025 class. So let's dive into the film, and this is going to be sophomore film of Brady Hart. The other thing you're going to see, he's skinnier than Noah Grubbs, but also a kid that has, in my opinion, a very good frame. He's listed anywhere from 6'4" to 6'5", about 185 to 190 pounds, a lot skinnier than Noah Grubbs. But what you're going to see is even though he's skinnier, he still has a pretty strong arm. I think Brady's one of those kids. His dad played baseball in college, played actually in the NFL a little bit. He's a kid that I think is going to fill out a lot, and when he fills out, his arm's going to get a lot stronger. But he's got a really good feel for the game. You just look at this play right here. This is a very accurate throw, play action pass, boot to the right, sees the guy come open, accurately gets the ball outside. Really good throw. Doesn't quite come out of his hand with the same RPMs as what Noah Grubbs, but guys, there's not a huge difference. There's a lot of arm talent there as well. He's a guy that also has a longer release. I don't think Brady Hart's arm speed is as good as Noah Grubbs' arm speed, and I think that's something that Brady could maybe work on a little bit, but you just don't see that same explosiveness coming through the zone, which is going to explain why his ball doesn't quite get as much juice on it. But again, we're talking about a sophomore in high school. By the time this kid's a senior, you're going to see a lot more zip on the football. and he's going to have a lot more power. There's not going to be any throws that Brady Hart can't make by the time he's a senior in high school, much less by the time he gets to college. He's a smart kid, quick decision maker, a young man that throws a very catchable football. He's an accurate thrower. There's more consistency to his game, in my opinion. Really good feel. But it's just one of those things where I like his physical tools a lot. I don't know that I would say I think he has elite physical tools yet. He could get there. But sometimes you just watch a kid and you're like, I just love his feel for the game. And that's one of the things that I really like about Brady Hart. When you watch, I'm thinking which playoff game. It was a playoff game he played in where he actually didn't play that well. His numbers weren't great. That's a throw to Javen Boggs. But he made plays when he needed to. And that's something you learn about a quarterback. It's like, okay, can you make money plays when you're not at your best? This is against St. Thomas Aquinas. So just put in the context of the kind of team he's playing against. This is obviously a team that's going to be loaded with talent. It's a good read, fits that slant right in between two guys. He's reading the flat defender, right? That's number 5. That's a linebacker. As soon as that guy starts working out the flat, he sees it. He knows I can hit that slant, but he's got to keep his eyes on the inside linebacker, 24. He's got to make sure that guy doesn't squeeze. He doesn't squeeze, gets the ball out quickly. Perfect placement on that ball, allows Javen Boggs to catch and run, and then he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Good feel for the game, good timing. And he's another kid that's willing to take a hit. This is against St. Thomas Aquinas as well. Takes the hit, still gets the ball out. It's a touchdown. So he's a tough kid. You look at him, he's skinny. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's a tough kid. There's no doubt about that. Good touch here, good timing, getting that ball in that little cover 2 hole. He's thinking there's going to be some safety help there on the slot fade. This is a slot fade concept that you're going to hear me talk a lot about. If you're on the premium board, you've already seen a full 30-minute breakdown of the slot fade concept. This is a throw that Mike Denbrock likes to run a lot, and a throw that Mike Denbrock likes to run in the red zone a lot. And you see Brady Hart making that throw right there. Good mobility. You see him find that guy down the field. It's a nice ball. That ball's got to get outside. That's one where he missed. You got to get that ball outside. It's one of those things you work on, right? So like what happens here is it's a quick throw. So he's rushing his footwork and he steps too narrow. So if you look at that left step, it's inside of the receiver. So now he's got to fight across his body. But because he's trying to rush the throw out there, he makes it a little bit harder on himself. This is like that throw we talked about with Noah Grubbs. You make this throw now, it's a touchdown. You make this throw against Benjamin Morrison in college, that's going 100 yards the other way for a touchdown. That's the learning process for young quarterbacks. And they're all going to have that type of stuff on film. I've said this before. It's funny the things some kids think are highlight films that are not really highlights. And so I love this throw. This is another slot fade. This is pretty well defended by that slot defender, but he just puts the ball where only his guy has a chance. I believe this is actually also the state title game. It's either state semis or state title game. That's a big time throw there by Brady Hart. That's a quicker release there, but as you can see, again, doesn't have quite the same power. The ball gets where it needs to get to. It's on time, and it's a touchdown for Coco. And this is a really talented kid as well. They're just different. They're different quarterbacks. I mean, that's the thing, is they're very different quarterbacks, but they're both excellent players. And what I would say, one thing I like about Brady is, and this isn't relative to Noah Grubbs, this is what I like about Brady. He has a really nice feel for touch. He understands timing really well. He understands throwing guys open really well. For a young player, he's really advanced in that regard. But he can get some zip on it when he needs to. But as he gets older, his ability to power the football where it needs to go is going to improve. Here's a good run right here. You can see him. You can see the kind of the quickness here, quarterback draw. See the elusiveness, ability to make some guys miss. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you look at that, you don't think, oh, Riley Leonard part 2, but you think, okay, that's a guy that can do something with his legs. That's a guy that can do a little something if you need him to. This is where you see a little bit, just the ball just doesn't really power there, but it's still a good ball. Gets there with good zip. He's a good player. It's a good player. There's a lot of talent to work with. Good footwork. Kind of gets a little bit of a narrow gather step here. He's going to want to not do that. and then step a little bit more. It's not bad. It's just one of those little things that you'll want to work on, because that tends to, when he gets that narrow step at the top, that tends to make his step a little bit more narrow, and it causes the ball to flow a little bit. Or if he drives a little bit more off that, you're going to see the ball really fly out and get a little bit more zip on it, lead the guy, and hit right on that dime. Here's some loose. Yeah, see, I thought he scored a touchdown. I'm pretty sure he scored there. And I thought I saw another play in the playoffs where he scored on the pilot. Now, here it is. Yeah, I thought that was a touchdown. I don't remember seeing a flag. So they didn't listen with any touchdowns rushing, but I thought he had a couple. As you can see here, throwing to the left, if you guys notice a pattern, throwing to the left, he tends to throw behind the receiver a lot. Watch here. Watch his step. So that left foot, not the plant leg, but the lead leg, right? It's too narrow. And so what it does is watch his follow through. He's fighting against the left side of his body. So because of where he steps, he's closed his hips off. And when you close your hips off that way, you now are forcing your upper body to fight against your lower body. Then when you're a young quarterback, that's going to cause you to be a little bit off target. That's why he's throwing behind. This is an easy fix. And I would be willing to bet you $20 that the quarterback coach he works with this year has this fixed before his junior season even starts. All that requires is just a little bit more of an open step there. You want to get your back foot parallel to your target, because what he's doing is, this is what young guys do sometimes. He's stepping to where the receiver is when he starts his motion, not to where he wants to throw it. He's much better about that to the right, but to the left, it's a little bit less natural, and you see his footwork doesn't quite get him there. And that's what causes it. Very correctable. And again, we're talking about a sophomore. Very correctable thing that you can get fixed down the road. And that's something that I think he'll definitely get better at. Here's a little bit more of that mobility. See, again, you guys, like, he's not a dynamic runner. I think some people kind of present it like, oh, this guy's going to be a dynamic dual threat quarterback. I don't know that he's a dual threat quarterback. I think he's a guy that can hurt you with his legs. A guy that can rush for 300-400 yards maybe on some scrambles and some read zones where he pulls and keeps it. But he's not a guy that's going to go out there and strike fear into the heart of the defense the way that a guy like Riley Leonard does, or a guy like, Tyler Buckner did before his injuries and things like that. I love the ball placement on this throw. It's time. He knows exactly where that linebacker is, and he knows exactly where he's got to throw it away from. But watch the lead step. It's a little bit more open this time, so he's not fighting against that guy. A little bit more open, so he's not fighting against his hips as much as he was before. You see that? And so what happens? Better ball placement. Ball gets outside. And a very correctable thing. Very correctable. Really good feel for the game, as you can see. Good pocket presence there. Feels the rush, steps into it, gets the ball right to the middle of his chest, doesn't let it hang, keeps his eyes downfield, and then boom, there he goes. Gets it over top for a play. Again, ball's behind a little bit, right? Watch his feet. He's fighting his hips a little bit. He'll get there. He'll get there. Lot of talent to work with. See, he's got the ball out, which I don't like, but as soon as he starts to make a move, watch him put that ball in the middle and protect it. I like that. I like that. A lot to work with here. This is a quarterback's coach's dream, because there's a lot of tools. He's just long and wiry, so there's a lot of moving parts that you kind of got to bring together. And when they do, boy, he's going to be excellent. He's going to be excellent. Again, you see the mobility, not make it dynamic running plays, but good feel, good presence. He uses his legs to buy time and get some work done in the pass game. So again, I like the tools. Good feel. It's a good throw. Snaps it off, sees it, knows where he's going, snaps it off. Boom, right there, touchdown. Coco. Actually, not touchdown. Close to a touchdown. A lot of tools to work with. So as you guys can see, both of these young men have a lot of talent. They're different players. They have different strengths to some degree, different weaknesses, but at the end of the day, they both have a lot of talent. And I think what you're seeing here is why Notre Dame has the view that they have when it comes to recruiting quarterbacks in this class. And we'll talk about that here in a second. Let's get just a couple more throws here of Brady, and then we'll move on and finish this thing up. Good touch here.